All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for real people just like you right there and just like me right here. Well, unfortunately, Jackson Browne has tested positive for, I'm going to call it CV here. I'm getting demonetized, which hasn't happened to me in a long time because I'm talking about this, and apparently you can't talk about it unless the Surgeon General is next to you and they're nodding their head in agreement with you. I don't know why we can't have a discussion about this on various social media platforms. I'm not trying to spread any lies or tell you my opinion about any of this. All I'm just telling you is I'm doing reporting on it. So I'm actually reporting. So Jackson Browne has this, and I will talk about Jackson Browne in a little more detail at the end, because he is a brilliant singer and songwriter. He is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, thankfully. He's one of many others who should be in the Hall, who came from the great singer-songwriter era. For some reason, Jackson got in there and a lot of others didn't. So Jackson Browne was suspicious that he was not doing well when he felt ill in recent weeks. He said he had a small cough and a temperature. He was tested. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee tells Rolling Stone that he has tested positive and is currently recuperating at his home in Los Angeles. Symptoms are really pretty mild, he says, so I don't require any kind of medication and certainly not hospitalization or anything like that, he adds. So again, this is just my opinion here. That's good news. That's good news. Now, I'm not saying everybody is going to have the same reaction, all right? But this is good news that he's 71 years old, so he's kind of in that age range where it's a little more higher risk that something, might get worse, but it hasn't, so good. Anyway, it says the 71-year-old musician isn't sure where he got it, but he suspected his recent trip to New York for the annual Love Rocks NYC benefit, which also featured Cyndi Lauper, Dave Matthews, Warren Haynes, Susan Tedeschi, and Derek Trucks, may have been the source. So many people that have it aren't going to be tested, he says. They don't have symptoms, but they might have it and might be able to pass it on. This is why if you feel a little bit like he did, you really should stay home. You really should stay home. That's what younger readers need to understand. They may need to take part in the global response to stop the spread. That means not going anywhere, not getting into contact with anybody, and not seeing anybody. As boring as that is, and I can tell you it's very boring because I've been practicing this for the most part, other than the occasional trip to the market or the gas station. And even doing that, I'm very self-aware of who's around me. So Jackson Browne, a guy who should be in one of the videos that I've done in the past called, the music industry's war on, and you fill in the blank. Here's a guy growing up that was always on the radio. And again, I know time tends to basically sort of cull songs off of playlists and so forth, but Jackson Browne, he's got an amazing voice, number one. He plays guitar really well. Let's be honest, he's a pretty good guitar player. He is a great songwriter. And just that whole Hold On, Hold Out period of time that girl could sing, Boulevard, and pretty much every track off of that record. When I was growing up, the radio stations around me were going out of their way to make sure they played almost every song from that album, and now you don't hear any songs from that album. Obviously, Running on Empty, and You Love the Thunder, stuff like that. Running on Empty, and for some reason, the Loadout and the second track, Stay still gets airplay, and it's not even a Jackson Browne tune, it's a cover. And it's just, okay, and they don't even play the beginning of that. They play just that little part of the song. It's just weird how radio programmers have just gone completely off the rails and don't seem to want to play good music. And they are so focus tested happy that they're afraid that you can't take the load out along with Stay. You can't hear about the story about the roadies, which I always thought was fascinating, that he was giving credit to the roadies and it was like a song that got on the radio. It's like a very working class blue collar thing for him to do, to promote. And obviously other albums, the whole Lawyers in Love album, that entire album from start to finish is some of the best singing, production quality, playing. It's like a perfect record. If you don't like the material, that's where you got Tender Is the Night, Lawyers in Love, but there are tunes like For a Rocker on there. It's just amazing and great singing. And, and he continued throughout the 80s with little fits and starts. And again, he should have gotten more airplay during the 80s with those albums, but obviously the music scene had changed. But if you go back and listen to like In the Shape of a Heart or something, you're going to be like, wow, this is a guy who can write songs. And of course, the 70s catalog is just, before what I mentioned, is just absolutely stunning. So, Jackson Browne has got the CV, and it looks like he's going to be okay, though, which is excellent news, and everybody should celebrate that an American treasure, a rock and roll Hall of Famer, is on the mend, and hopefully will be playing concerts again soon enough. We're not sure when, but soon, hopefully. All right, I am done with this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to join me over on Patreon. It's just $1 a month to join up. And we've had some joiners because a lot of folks are inside and they don't know what to do with themselves. So they're joining the conversation and supporting the channel, which I really appreciate because, like you, I am pretty much stuck inside. All right, folks, see you soon.